She's a fascinating woman, Michele Bachmann. There are things about her that people don't realize. 23, she and her husband, who's a clinical psychologist, whom I got to meet as well and get to know better. I had met her on a number of occasions, but we had a lot of time alone together last night. This is one sincere, good, decent, intelligent, very intelligent. See, I realized something. I think she's a tax attorney. I think that is not known. I will get the exact title of her background, but I don't think anybody knows that. She says that it's never reported about her, and I'll tell you why. Whenever they are attractive and conservative, females who are attractive and conservative, and she's quite attractive. She's in the Sarah Palin League in that regard. The attempt of the media is to portray them as particularly stupid. I'm tempted to say it's sexist, but because they don't do that with good-looking men on the conservative side. I don't know if there are any, but no. Mitt Romney's good-looking, wouldn't you say, in a sort of sculpted way? But it's, you know what, men's looks people differ on, whereas women's looks, it's pretty universal. Yeah, that's a pretty woman end of issue in most cases. But her background is one of great competence, and she's very bright. She gave a talk on the economy, which I would like to see anyone, including Nancy Pelosi, on the Democratic side, any woman, or for that matter, the men, give. It was a terrific evening. She was a U.S. Treasury from 1988 to 1993. Bachmann was a U.S. Treasury Department attorney in the U.S. Federal Tax Court located in St. Paul. How many of you knew that, Republican or Democrat? A U.S. Treasury Department attorney. Yeah, Michele Bachmann. But, of course, portrayed as usual. There was no exception to this. It's true for men, too. Remember the way they portrayed Clarence Thomas? One of the brightest members, one of the most deep-thinking members of the U.S. Supreme Court ever to live? Because if you are a female, attractive female in particular, and any black who is conservative, you have to be torn down as a human being. Anyway, Michele Bachmann, U.S. Treasury Department attorney. How many know? She told me, she said, it's never reported that I'm an attorney, that I was a tax expert. It's never reported that my husband and I have been foster parents to 23 children. Folks, it's hard to be a foster parent to one child. Boy, they walk the talk, the Bachmanns. So it was quite an evening. Got to know a very, very remarkable woman. She is the most hated member of the Republican Party by the Democrats. They have funneled in a vast amount of money. Alan, if you could check into that, or Sue, the back home there, if you could check in, there is a sum of money. I don't know what it is that the Democratic Party has funneled into the race against Michele Bachmann. The fact that she's religious doesn't help. I mean, that's the worst. Religious, pretty, she's got everything going against her. Everything going against her. Michael wants to know if I think Michele Bachmann should run for the presidency. First, let's get her elected. They're pouring in millions to defeat her. It's a fascinating question, by the way, why she is the number one target of the Democrats. Isn't that interesting? One Minnesota congressional district. Why? They can't stand beautiful women who are conservative and bright. U.S. tax attorney. How many of you knew that? I didn't even know it. It's hidden. It's hidden. Now, that doesn't mean you're bright if you're a U.S. tax attorney, but you have to have some level of intellectual attainment in order to attain that. She's very bright. But she's religious, and she's pretty, and she has 6 kids. Everything that the left can't stand. Everything. Can't stand it. That's right. And the religious is really, that drives the left over the top. The religious Muslim, that she'd be a heroine. She would be the best. A religious Christian, you see, at bottom, in my belief, not belief, theological belief, in my rational understanding of life, at bottom, this is really ultimately over the Judeo-Christian basis of the United States or not. At bottom, that's what it is. That's what the left most loathes, if somebody says that. This was founded to be a religious country with a secular government, not a secular country with a secular government. This drives the left craziest. She embodies that belief with her religiosity, which I adore. I'm Jewish, she's Christian, and I adore it. So we make a good duo. We're Judeo-Christian. There you go. It's the great battles here. I'll tell you what she should, though. I think that people should write to Congressman John Boehner, who will probably be the next Speaker of the House. I think this woman needs to be on the Intelligence Committee. You know what? You know, with all of her identification with American politics, her deep passion is international relations, and her worry about Iran, and her worry about the fanatics who run Iran and the engulfing the world in war with their desire to get nuclear weapons and destroy Israel. She gets it, folks. She gets America's place in the world. She gets what's happening in the Middle East. Drop John Boehner a line to appoint Michele Bachmann to the Intelligence Committee, because we have people on that committee who should be as far away from that committee as possible. She would be a real asset. I mean it. A simple little email to John Boehner's office. Good man, John. He'll get it.